No, yes, go there, please.
Oh, sorry, I didn't see these people.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, hello and good evening, good morning, good afternoon, whatever that is for you. We are in Somnium Space, and today we have a cool event, a roundtable. We'll be discussing everything about the metaverse, RPG games, and elements and gamification, whatever comes to our mind. And I would like to ask panelists to come out of the backstage. Let's see if that works. Panelists, or maybe they're already having fun there. And oh no, they're coming. Here they are. Oh, fantastic! Whoop whoop whoop! Well, I want to see your hands. The audience. Okay, we have brilliant audience there as well. Thank you for being with us. And yeah, thank you for coming, everyone. And I think before we start, we should introduce ourselves. So maybe we start from my right hand. DNA, please introduce yourself.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, first off, thank you for putting this event on. I'm sure a lot of people are wanting to know what the metaverse is all about, but yeah, I'm a world builder, Unreal Engine, Unity, and all no-code platforms. So, Somnium Space, I've spent about an hour in here, and I'm really impressed with it.
Nice. Thank you very much. Wild Wanderer.
Hello, I'm Wild Wanderer. I'm a general gremlin in VR chat with many thousands of hours of time spent doing gremlin-y type stuff. So yeah, that's about me.
Cool. Daryl?
Hi, I'm Sheru. I'm a social VR consultant. I give advice to companies. Also, thank you for setting up this event. Kind of interesting what the conversation is going to bring today. And, well, that's about it.
All right, thank you. Thank you for coming. Wizard?
Thank you. I'm Luca Lupatelli. Sorry for my weird nickname today, but I'm a digital project manager. I work for Hexagon Geosystems. We develop software and hardware for scanning, digital twin, and things that are bringing in the virtual what is real. So. Yeah, very excited to be here. Thank you for the invite, and yeah, looking forward for this great panel. Really.
All right, thank you very much. And yeah, for those who don't know, I'm Arthur, founder of Somnium Space, and I'm honored and thankful for all of you to coming in here and having the discussion. I'm actually looking forward to it. Before we start, let me. Oh, the audience is already here. Hello, audience. If you feel that you don't hear us well, you just can come closer. We'll feel like rock stars. Maybe in the end, we'll just jump onto the crowd here. I don't know. Who knows? Everything is possible. All right, so we're cheating a little bit, so we have our topics written here to discuss, and let's kick off because the topic number one is actually really interesting. It's NPCs and AI in social VR. We hear a lot about AI, and we some of the games are slowly but steadily starting to implement some of that, but in my opinion, we haven't seen a full-fledged, let's say, implementation of AI in something like social VR, where you would be able to natively talk to an NPC. Because my prediction, like 3 years ago was, or even 2 years ago was, hey, at some point of time in the near future, and of course we can all debate what the near future is, but I thought maybe within the 5 years time, you would be able to come to VR metaverse, like Somnium, for example, meet someone, talk for 5 minutes, and for the first 1 or 2 minutes not even realizing that this is not a real person. What do we think? Is that doable? Will that happen? And when that happen? Who wants to start?
I think I'll start.
I can start. Oh yeah, go ahead.
Just to put the record straight, I already seen AI being used in VR, social VR.
I meant in a proper way.
In a proper way. That's the problem. For that, you will need to train AI to actually mimic human motion, and I think that's gonna be the biggest hurdle, because that's a tall order in my opinion. But I've already seen AI being used in certain ways, and the prospect is interesting.
Yeah, I
But
think one of the examples is Skyrim VR. I've seen Skyrim using like people using mods and using AI there. I mean, we have AI NPC here in the tutorial place where you start. There is an AI avatar standing, and you can ask questions about Somnium Space. But to me, that's not a proper AI implementation. For me, proper AI is when you don't know whether you're talking to a real person or the AI. But Dana, you wanted to say something.
Yeah, I was going to say, uh, I know AI is going to be a big part of the metaverse. How we use it and how the users get the experiences, I think, on the creator's hands. So for me, I'm already using AI in my worlds that I build, but I don't make it like it's an actual avatar. So people don't feel like, oh, what is this? Is this an AI? Okay, well, I don't want to deal with this AI. What I do is I make it into what people are expecting an AI should be, right? So I have this little teeny bot that flies around and it attaches to my
Right.
avatar, and people can click on it and get information. And also, what that does is it pulls back on so much programming inside the platform itself. So it's an external link that you can click on, and then you're literally using it outside of the metaverse, but you're still in the metaverse with your avatar. So that's how I see, or that's how I like to use artificial
Okay.
intelligence as an
Okay.
NPC inside the metaverse.
Cool. Wild Wonder, what do you think?
Um, I mean, there's been some implementations of it in VR chat, for example, but they're just like conversational. You can have some basic conversations. It tries to respond with whatever you ask, and it'd be nice to see it have, excuse me, more ability, perhaps, um, where you can actually get information from. That might be a world specific kind of thing or a venue specific kind of thing,
Mm-hmm.
perhaps. Um, I think that would be interesting on how the AI should be presented, how an AI entity should be presented. It should definitely be obvious that it's AI. I don't think there should be any way, any reason to try and conceal that it is AI.
Mm-hmm.
There should be some indicator that you aren't talking to an actual person. I
Okay,
can
that's
certainly see
interesting.
some good uses for it. I can also sadly see the abuses of it, the abuse side of it. I think as well, potentially, given the
Okay,
certain.
we'll come back to that. Actually, thought
Mhm.
I want to hear your thoughts about what could be the potential abuse of it. But Wizard, what do you think about the AI
Yeah,
user
I think
experience?
it's a great point because I think we will get to the point where people will talk with avatar and will probably don't even realize that are fake. That because the technology is moving in the direction where the AI is getting better, better, and better, and is being developed every day more. But if I look at 10 years from now, right? This will happen. I can tell that I'm pretty sure that this will happen. But there is going to be a risk also behind it, because from my perspective, when people will come in a ward and will think, I'm talking with somebody real or talking about with somebody that is fake. Is this word completely fake? Is this word real? There are many questions that probably will be raised at that point, right? So and to make a word or a virtual word useful for people to make these NPCs need to drive user journey of user through this or that word, through this or that experience, and probably need to be also transparent to say, who the word builder need to say this is a fake avatar.
Yeah.
This is how
Yeah.
this is helping you to go from this point to the art to point A to point B in this sense, because if not, it's we are going to fool a world of NPCs, and then where are the real people? So the virtual world need to be virtual but real at the same time with real people. So
You just
NPC,
described
from my
Twitter.
perspective, need to be helpful, not main story, I'd say.
I agree. I agree. Listen, I fully agree with that. I think. Um, so in my opinion, I agree that it should be obvious that someone you're talking to is AI. Now, I also think that if you tried the recent most advanced voice, AI voice assistants, whether it's Gemini or whether it's ChatGPT or any other one, the level of humanity in those AI assistants, the level of believability is incredible, and it's accelerating very fast. So that just gives me an idea that, okay, of course VR is VR. One second, let me put my voice up. VR is of course much more complicated because you not only have the voice, you have the movements, and we are very well trained to see if the movement is not real. So I think but in general, I think AI will bring more positive use cases for social VR metaverses rather than negative. There will be negative for sure. And if we want to talk about negative aspects and risks, I think Wild Wonder said about some negative risks. What do you think are the biggest risks for VR environments? Let's say you come in and you see a person, you talk to it, but you didn't realize that it's not a real human.
Excuse me. I can see it being used to lead people on. You've got potential risks of, I don't know, some sort of off-world scamming. So something that goes on and has somebody that's in VR believing something that's going on in this interaction, and then them being taken off, off-world to the real world and going through with something that they shouldn't want to do. I think there's also, as you pointed out, things are becoming a lot more believable now with AI. The voices, the humanity. I'm doing air quotes here because there's not much humanity, but I know what you mean. I can also see people getting potentially attached to these things because we've all seen in VR some of the characters and some of the NPCs that exist already in the other game that. I don't know. I could see it going a different kind of way with that, and what can happen with that, I don't know offhand, but it's going to lead to that for sure.
Okay. Anyone else sees any big risks? Or
I think with. Oh, go ahead.
Go ahead. Your turn.
I was just going to say, I think with AI, as far as limiting the risk, is I think you need to have a disclaimer. Where people know that it's an AI, so that way they're not getting hoodwinked with any information, making them feel like you're saying when you just opened up about where you think artificial intelligence will be, where we're not going to be able to tell the difference. That is, I think, the bad side of it. It's like not knowing, right? So I think a disclaimer is what's going to really help that out. And I do see, I just want to add this to it. I think the AI will be the new UI. It'll be the new user interface of how people will navigate spaces, right? Because imagine coming in a world this is a big world here. I came in here earlier today, and I was going all around. I was just like, wow! It was like I was Easter egg hunting in here.
Yep.
But if I had an AI guiding me, I'd say, hey, this is what I'm interested in. And it's okay, this is where you want to go, right? So I can see that being purposed, and the last word I want to say or phrase would be fit for purpose. 3 years ago when I was building worlds and stuff, I was just building worlds hoping that people will go into the world, and I realized that that I need to be making it for a purpose, right? So I think that's the other thing is the AI fit for purpose inside the space, and I think that's all up to the users. Yeah,
it's true. Dara?
There's one thing I'm slightly concerned about that is already actual these days. There was a startup, I think 2 years ago, where they basically faked the user numbers. So the interaction was just a number on the screen. I think in the future with AI, it's going to be really easy to fake a popularity of a world. So a user enters a world, and he goes, or a place or an area, and he goes whoa, lots of people here around. And then he starts talking. And I know most people, if you spend some time with an AI, after 15 minutes, you usually go, okay, this is AI.
But here's
this
an
is a
interesting
waste of time.
question. What if you
Mm.
join the world and there is, let's say, 80% of the population in that world are AIs, but they're so advanced that you had so much fun there? Like, what is the
Well,
where's the balance between that it's bad actually, or actually you didn't care because you had fun and the AI was so believable, you had a great conversation, maybe you danced and things like that, and suddenly you had a good time and you went off and you didn't even realize that was an AI. Is it bad or is it good? I don't know.
Art as an AI confirmed.
Listen, don't Psst. Come on, man. Why are you underground?
I'm underground. Carry on.
Yeah, but I am concerned that it might be in the future a case where a certain hype exists around the product, and then when you strip away the AI, it turns out that it was a nothing burger.
There was one person on the creator. Okay, yeah,
That
I mean,
will
true.
happen, by the way. I predict that will happen.
I think so as well. So I can tell you one example, and we could wrap this convo about the AI. But one example, a few years ago, we have announced, or actually, the idea was there more than 5 years ago. But a few years ago, we started doing steps towards that. So 5 years ago, I wanted to use AI. We called it a live forever mode, and VR is perfect for that. So we have, like you've seen, you were going around Somnium, you've seen some parcels and buildings and stuff. We have parcels which are built on by people who already died. It's live, it happens.
Oh wow.
Now those parcels are there in their memory, let's say, and they're forever will stay there. Now, I said, listen, if you combine VR, like the full body tracking, and especially things like Tesla suit and mocap, and full body tracking and your voice and stuff, we could record you, or you could record yourself in VR, and then when you are not with us anymore, you could still be there for maybe kids of your kids to come to your parcel or your world and talk to you with your voice, your gestures, your personality, and we call it a live forever mode. That made a lot of articles and a lot of stuff. I was talking on TED Radio Hour about this and things like that. And we've made already steps toward that. So we've created a system which allows people to record themselves, including the gestures, including the movements, the voice, and everything. By the way, everything stays on your computer locally. We never get your data for that. But that is something which is intriguing because you might die. You never know when we die. It can happen. But I don't want to leave behind me only a few pictures and maybe some videos on the mobile phone. I want to leave my personality because AI is progressing so much. And with the VR, I can combine that. And then suddenly kids of my kids will know me. Because I don't know who my grandfather was. I hear some stories, but I would love to hear it from him, with his voice. It's much better. So that's where I feel but it was a controversial thing because when the articles went out and I was TED Radio Hour, some people loved it and some people hated it. They called me like, oh my God, you are antichrist or whatever. I said, wait a second. I'm just trying to, I want to use it. Maybe some people want to use it too, So that was kind of, that's where I see, in my opinion, I see a potential for that because, listen, I want my kids and kids of my kids to know me better than just from pictures. That's my wish.
Arthur, just to add to that, have you seen the Shark Tank in the United States?
Yeah, sure, of course.
Okay, so Kevin O'Leary, he came out, I watched it about maybe 2 years ago. He said that how he sees the metaverse being purposed is two things. He's looking at it, one, for a way people can get married, and the other part is when people have a funeral, right? So, and he said the reason why he says that's the market he wants to get into with the metaverse, because nobody talks about budgets for getting married. Nobody talks about budgets when someone passes away. But what you're saying there, I've been looking into a keepsake and the best way to do a keepsake. And I think you're onto something where use it, where we bring them back to life with an artificial intelligence, which I think that going on generation to generation, they're learning about their family history, which I think is super important. I think a lot of people have been out of touch with their families.
99%. 99%. We don't know who the second leg of our ancestors. We have no idea. Literally, majority of you have no idea. And the last thing I would say, and I know that some people hate blockchain and stuff like this, but to preserve something on the internet in a digital form factor, you could put many parts of that on the blockchain and it will literally never be deleted. That with combination of VR gives you an incredible tool to actually preserve things online. Just again, my opinion, but again, many people had different opinions about the live forever, and when they hear it, they start screaming. Okay, so thank you. That was interesting, and I think AI will progress. But topic number 2, which I see here, is MMORPG elements in the metaverse. So we are kind of going from AI to, well, it has a little bit of AI, but going to Quest. So I grew up on Ultima Online game. Some probably played RuneScape, I don't know, but my stuff was Ultima Online, and it spoiled me forever because from the 1999, I was with real people, with the real economy, dealing with a persistent world, and I was used to it. For me, it's normal. You know, you have an economy, you have quests, and the best quests are the quests which users create for other users, not the creators of the platform. So what are the best examples of some RPG elements you've ever seen in VR or non VR? Like, what are your thoughts?
I would just say, I think having quest systems inside multiplayer games is perfect for education purposes, right? How do you benchmark to know where someone's at? So think of maybe like a restaurant owner that which I was, and
Nice.
I don't recommend it to anybody. Don't go in the restaurant. But what I can say is, I wish I had a solution. Yeah, it was an awesome experience. But the thing is, I wish what I had was some sort of training program, because every time I hired a new employee, I looked at that employee as an expense, and that was going to cost me $27,000 to get that person just up to par where they need to be to do their job. You know, so I can see multiplayer applications with quest systems that can benchmark the education. So that way, the owner or whoever is using the application can get some sort of analytic to know where that employee is in the training, right? So you can use it to lower level, to the actual grunts, you know, doing all the work, or up to the management. And the thing is, as a business owner, I'd love to see that in play, that my managers are collaborating with the employees and being consistent, and, you know, there's a standard operation procedure, you know. So I can see the multiplayer with quest systems being a huge advantage to enterprise companies that want to have like a training system.
Okay, interesting. Right.
That sounds really good. Actually.
Any other restaurant owners?
Yeah. I think I'm completely aligned with that. For the training perspective, it's really great. It really works because, you know, you can also drive the person, you know, on the steps that you want that person to take in order to achieve something, right? And so for training, 100%, I'd see great application. And I see also great application also for user journey, for branding purposes. You know, if you want to get to know your company and you build a word about your company, could be anything, could be, I don't want to name brands, but, you know, if you want to get to know how they do HR, how they build up their products, and what a company is, what the culture is, you know, you can build levels and quests in order to drive users to start from a point and reach another, and make sure that they are following the steps and are getting to know the brand and the company in the proper way. So I think that would work really, really great in that perspective. And of course, together with AI, with the NPCs and the quests, you know, I think this will be a great combination for building a proper user journey for users into a virtual world. So that's my perspective.
Totally. So we have 2 times the education and training. Cheryl, Wild Wonder, what do you think? Anything in games? Bring some fun.
Like you mentioned before, playing MMO RPGs. I am from a different background. I played EVE Online back in my younger years, and I got a giant distaste for theme park MMOs like World of Warcraft and the likes. And I think you need to be very careful introducing roleplay elements into a social VR environment. I mean, like you said, for training purposes, great. So you have a separate world, and you tell your
Mm-hmm.
employees, hey, you want to work for my company, complete this, and I'll have an interview with you. That might be a way to do it. But to introduce that into a social VR, make it an element of it, like an integral part of it that you can't skip, then I think a lot of users will just consider
Okay,
it
I
chore.
agree. Things which you can't skip should never exist. Okay, I'm just saying. Can I say it out loud? Non-skippable things are a disaster. Okay, in general. Because if you force someone to do something, it's never a good experience.
It's never gonna work.
Never works like that. Wild Wonder, what do you think?
For me, MMORPGs has never been anything that's been of interest. I've seen plenty of my friends play it, and I hear some good
Interesting.
things, but an awful lot of bad things about them in general. And it's just
Can you
never
give an
been
example of
something
a
that I've
bad
been
thing
into.
with MMORPG? Like what comes to
I
your
think
mind?
I think it was just generally the toxicity that comes out of people in these
Oh
kinds
wow,
of
okay.
environments. And you know, it.
Ah.
I think in a normal RPG, if you got toxic people, there's kind of easier ways to deal with them. But if you're in VR, I mean, yes, you can block, you can hide them, you can do whatever is available for moderation tools, but you're, I don't know, I think that's a different kind of thing than if you're just in a normal online game, some sort. But
Oh,
I think the general rule was, or the general thing that people complained about was just the toxic
Mm-hmm.
side of it.
Okay.
Wild. I think what you're
Mm.
looking for is in VR, it's more personal.
It
Oh,
is, yeah, it's
100%.
a lot more
Yeah,
personal,
yeah.
yeah.
And very believable.
Mm, yeah.
Sometimes even more than in real life, I have to say. Um, okay, yeah. I mean, I think making. I'm trying to because I'm looking at the topic number 3, which is the immersive virtual economies, and to me,
Mhm.
how can like as someone who is working with the team to build Somnium Space, right? And
Woo!
as you said, we have okay, we heard some mouse below the stage. We need to call the disinfection. Okay, but yeah, so we are looking at it from 2 perspectives, right? So you said, okay, I went to this big world. I had no idea where to go, but it kind of was big.
Arthur,
In yeah.
you're in the mic space, so you're
Oh,
wobbling on
okay.
the edge
Is
of
it
the
better
mic
now?
space. So it's loud and hard and loud and okay.
Is
No, it's
is
fine.
it better now?
Oh.
Is it better
Yes.
now? Okay, cool. Sorry. Woo! Okay, that's it. But yeah, what I want to say is like it's always a balance between how can we guide people to explore interesting things and even explore the world, because not everybody wants to go and spend I don't know 2 hours, because this world is like 6 square miles to actually go through all the parcels. We had one person who attempted it, and after 17 hours in constant being in VR, he didn't manage to go through all the parcels. So it will take you a lot of time to actually explore all the buildings here. But how do we encourage people to explore? Because we know that there's a lot of interesting things without pushing them. And we are thinking, hey, I think economy in general plays a role in this, because while it's fun to be in VR just for fun, we also know that we as human beings, we have to be or want to be productive. And when I say productive, it somehow always involves some money, because you need to always choose. It's a choice. Will I spend 3 hours in VR if I can afford that and do that? Or will I go and maybe do something productive and get paid for that? Ideally, for those who love VR, for all of us here, we want to combine those 2 things. Hey, I can spend time in VR and be productive and earn some money, right? And that's where we think economy should exist, and this could be a cool combination. For example, a quest. Hey, go and explore the map. You will find throughout the map maybe 15 cubes, and you can collect them while you're exploring the Great Waterfall or the peak of Somnium or whatever. So that's how we look at things, like a little bit of play games. Of course, it's not intrusive. You don't need to do it. You don't want to, don't do it. But it's there for you, and you can do it. But since we're at economy, immersive virtual economies, what do you think about economies and virtual spaces. Do you think one can exist without another, or do we think that it has to be interconnected, has to be combined together?
That's a great question. I think the real world is trying to figure that out too. It's like, it's like, how do I stay in business, right? I think, well, I'll share with other people that I've actually purpose, right? I mean, it was a tough. Oh, go ahead.
Yeah, we lost you for a second. Can you repeat the last sentence?
Oh, sorry. My bad. Okay. Can you hear me now?
Yeah, we can hear you well.
Okay. So what I was saying is, going back to the word fit for purpose, or the phrase fit for purpose, and what do you get from it? I think that's the first thing we need to be thinking about is like, what does the actual application do for that business, right? Are they getting any results from it? I would like to change the word economy to community, because it really is the community that drives these metaverse worlds. And if the community is not being master of invite, there's nobody going to be in these worlds. So I think the community is the actual value of the platform. So if, I've seen platforms where, just like they're just robust and everybody's having a good time and everything. Then all of a sudden one person comes in to be a troll and ruins the whole experience for everybody in there. And then everybody has to get into their settings and block the person and, ban the person. So I think when it comes to economy, I would take the approach of like, how would you white label your business to someone else? Because I think other people want to have the same thing that Somnium Space has, right? So how do we treat the community? How do we make them feel special in here? And how can we teach them how to make money in here? So I think blockchain and crypto, that's the start in doing, land lots with where you can build on it and stuff. I think that's important, but I would say, what's going to bring that person back to the space? What type of,
Totally agree.
So if they're making money in here, I think people they're gonna be telling other people, hey, I just made $50 in Somnium Space just going to an event because I went through and found all the coins and the eggs and everything, and wow, and then I went to this one restaurant that taught me how to make a hamburger. It's like, so value is everything, but I think it's to each individual to actually think of what people will be wanting. But I think Kevin O'Leary, like I said, not having any budget on spending, right? And that comes with, weddings and people that pass away, funeral homes and stuff. And I think that's, I'm not saying that's where you should take your business, is just focus on that. But that really is, what's it going to cost for someone to do business inside the platform, right? And then what are they going to get from it? Are they going to, 10 times, the amount of money that they got in here? Or, are they going to
Somnium Space, the place to marry and die? Sorry. But you are actually right. But I just wanted to add that the point is that community is the key. But
right.
For me, when I imagine the metaverse, I cannot imagine the metaverse without an ability for creators and people to earn money. And it doesn't need to be coming as a pushy thing. You just want to be, whether you are a consultant or an avatar creator or a wearable creator or a builder or whatever, architect, you should be able to utilize your skills inside VR. That's the only way how VR can become mainstream, in my opinion. But Sheru and Walwander, what do you think?
For me personally, VR is a place to come for fun and relaxation. The last thing on my mind is earning money while I'm in here. I have a day job that keeps me busy enough, and I go into VR for purely for social release and that kind of thing, and just relaxation and whatever have you. Saying that, I mean, there's a place for it. There's a market. There are many markets for avatars and worlds and accessories and whatnot, wearables as you call them here. And that's great. I think there needs to be that, because not everyone can build an avatar. Not everyone can create a world that I think everyone can create a world, whether people would actually want to go there more than once. That's the other trick to it. So being a good world creator and getting paid for that, I support a number of world creators. in VR chat, and I happy to do that because their worlds are great, and I want to see them continuing to do that. So that is important. They can earn money there, and I think that's great. Me personally, it's purely relaxation. As far as the currency goes, I don't know which currency would be best. It's got to be, I think, something that is usable outside of that VR environment and potentially accessible to the real world, because it's all well and good you're creating some object thing and you're making a pile of money from it. But if you can't access that money in the real world to pay your rent, pay your car
absolutely.
insurance,
Yeah.
then it's not of much use. So
100% agree. And yeah,
Mm.
I fully agree. And by the way, it's totally valid point. Some people come just for fun, and some people come for fun and earning. Some people come just to make money. As in real world, every person is different. Every need is different. But in my opinion, and that's how we try to build Somnium, we're trying to build it in a way that it accommodates every need. You want to just have fun. Have fun. But if you want to have fun and earn something, you can do it as well. It's up to people to decide. But the platform should support all the directions. Cher, what do you think?
This is one thing I'm always really concerned about when I hear people talk about IDs to introduce quests to explore.
Mm-hmm.
That's gonna be 1 week of people finding it and then word to mouth, and they gonna talk about it and they're gonna oh cool, amazing. That in 3 months that's gonna be an entry on a Wikipedia and a full guide how you do it in 5 minutes.
Oh, listen. We have very smart developers. It's all randomized for every avatar. Okay, you will not be. Every location is different. I'm just saying.
I mean, when
But
it comes
good point.
when it comes to earning money in a online environment, especially when it's even with simple stuff like a fake currency like getting gold
Yeah.
in a game, it will always come down to how fast can I do this boring task to make sure that I get the most out of it in the least amount of time. And
Yep.
not everyone will think that way, but there will be people that will game it into oblivion.
Oh, I know. Yeah.
So on that part, I think those types of quests for a social VR platform are like kind of moot unless you are constantly on the ball and keep updating and changing it constantly. And that means that's a lot of effort to put staff on something to arrange that. And then it's actually costing you money because you're spending money to keep people entertained. And on that part, yeah, I don't think it will work in the long term. It might be good for introductions.
Oh, yeah, it's just one aspect, right? It never is the integral or main aspect. Listen, we've seen in Somnium, like overall, I think the total volume of transactions in Somnium of people selling, buying things is over $40 billion. So, like, we've seen a lot of things happening here, and people selling avatars. Like the avatar I am right now in, like there are some wearables on it and some accessories, but the main avatar I bought from an artist who did it, one-on-one avatar, and I think I bought it for, I don't remember, $3,000 to $4,000, and I own it already for like 4 years almost, and I love it. I love it. I supported the creator. He worked long time for this avatar. I know that I'm the only owner of this version of this avatar, and to me that's more than enough. And as you say, you support creators in VR chat. I want to support creators in here and also in all other social VR platforms. Ultimately in real life we trade time for money and attention to money, and it's just aspect of our life whether we want it or not. And as again I would say, the platform should allow this to happen. If the platform is built to allow people to monetize their skills or attention, so be it. They don't need to, but if they want to, they could. So that's kind of, I don't want to push anything on anyone. Like literally, if you don't want to ever use anything and buy anything, don't. Please just come and relax here, go around, have some fun in the discos, and that's it. But if you really want to earn money and like in real life, you go to the same coffee shop every day and they'll say, hey, they're making a killing. Maybe I should open a coffee shop, and then you end up making a restaurant. That's what DNA was probably thinking.
Burger, please.
In the past. So, yeah. So, so that's kind of it. maybe the last question before we dissolve into the racing on the hover bikes, because that's exactly what we'll do after that. What do we think about? Because we have a state of art right now. Like, we have some platforms in VR, right? There's not so many. We have like VR chat. Then we have Horizon World, which I don't even believe that I'm saying this out loud, but okay. We have Somnium Space, and a few others. Where do we see the future of social VR? Because we're kind of like mainstream, but not mainstream. VR is kind of mainstream, but not mainstream yet. Where is the future of social VR? Like, I have a hard time answering this question, even though we're building one platform. But like, what do you think?
And I was just going to say, these are all my opinions here, right? So everything I'm saying,
course.
Take
Of
it with a
course.
grain of salt. Arthur, I
He's
think
paid by Mark Zuckerberg.
I think bridging the metaverses together is going to be the next big thing. It's like, how do we go from all these other VR social platforms into Somnium Space? How do we go from Somnium Space to all these others and still have a good time? Because again, I mean, if we want to talk about the value, it really is the community, telling people, hey, have you been in Somnium Space? Oh, you got to check it out. I just went to an event that I just got a whole bunch of great information. Well, how do these other platforms that are trying to figure it out, just like Somnium Space, I say bridge them together. Like, start reaching out to all the CEOs of all these other metaverse platforms and say, hey, can we do an event in your space? We'd love to invite you to ours, and I can see that being how we all put food on the table. We all stay connected. We make sure this stays relevant.
I agree with you. I even did many of these things, and some attempts succeeded and some didn't, because some of the CEOs are driven purely by economics. They will tell you, I don't want to go to your platform because why would I do it? Why would I promote your platform? And to what I said, why not? It doesn't matter. In the end of the day, if we all succeed, we succeed. But that's not how everyone, thinks. And trust me, I know all of them. I reached out to many. Some did again, some didn't. I believe in what you are describing is interoperability. I truly believe in interoperability. I think it's very hard. We tried and we attempted, and we will continue trying. But in the end of the day, there will be layers which will combine those things and allow people to exist simultaneously in several metaverses to have that experience. But Wild Wonder and Cheryl, what do you think?
I think the biggest issue going forward, with regardless what happens, is what it costs to get into VR. That's still a big issue. If you talk about meta and meta spaces, well, you can do it with a Quest 2 or 3. You don't need a lot. You don't need a PC. You can get in with just that headset. The experience is very lackluster. I went in a few times with some friends and promptly went, I am never visiting this ever again. I'm going back to VR chat.
Yeah.
And then you look at, I look at what my PC is doing while I'm in here, and I look at what it does when I'm in VR chat, and I've got a very beefy PC, and it works reasonably hard depending on the venue that I'm in.
The world, yeah.
I've been to DJ events in VR chat. There was a full lobby of 80 people, and everything in my computer box was crying because it was just under constant strain and pain.
Yeah.
So, that's not something that a lot of people can manage to do. So when we get, I think getting things optimized for everybody and getting it to the point where you don't need to spend thousands and thousands on a decent system to get in, that's when VR is going to really take off. If you can just do it with a headset and a pretty modest PC, then I think people will be good. Or just a headset alone. That would be great if you could just manage that, but we're not there by any means today.
Yep. I agree.
Even with a Quest in VR, if you don't use a PC, it's
it's
not a bad experience. It's not terrible, but it's not as good as it could be either.
It lacks the depth in many cases, right? Because
it does,
we know that immersion is not only about being able to see something. it's sometimes being able to see, the shadows, the depth of things, the distance, and things like the small things make like the last, the last 5% makes the 95% of the experience. Let's call it like this. Sure, what do you think?
Like where we're going with social VR. I come from a completely different angle on the subject,
Mm-hmm.
because like I see lots of people. It's even in the name. Like you look at, for example, the name VR chat. It's like VR with chat. So it's literally people talking in VR,
Mm-hmm.
and that 95% of the Western people I've met are treating that way, and I hear the same thing from different platforms. People treat social VR as a place where you can talk.
Mm-hmm.
But from my perspective, and I'm mostly involved with the Japanese community,
Mm-hmm.
it's like if the Japanese could rename VR chat, they would rename it to VR events. Like that's the only thing they do there. They don't go to VR chat to talk with people, with strangers. They go to VR to experience something. And I
Mm-hmm.
think the emphasis on that should be way more important. And it's not just like cut and dry, simple stuff to experience, but it could be like a whole range of things. I've seen the wildest things in VR, but the Japanese are not making it easy to bring that message across to other people. So that's a promotional thing on its own. But that's something that I find, I hope that the future will bring to social VR is more a focus on the things that there's stuff to do in VR and not
Mm-hmm.
the just talking in VR. I think you should get like that should get a lower priority in my opinion.
Yeah, I mean, listen, and that's the beauty of having many platforms, right? One platform is just to chat. Some platforms are to build and monetize. Another platform is to, I don't know, shoot each other. Who knows? Why not? And then there will be other platforms to do other things. But yeah, I mean, it's very interesting. While you were talking, I was thinking, it just came to my mind the idea, like, we always tend to say this, and I've been in countless panel discussions, right? And I always say, like, yeah, once the headsets become cheaper and the barrier of entry will become lower, everybody will be in VR, and it will be a mainstream, paradise and everything. And now you were talking, I was thinking, like, do we really want that? I'm not sure, because like right now, when you said like, hey, you have a beefy PC and a good headset, and I have a good headset and a beefy PC, and we're all here, kind of like-minded people in a group of people where we kind of worked to get here, right? Then it feels special, because the moment when you didn't work to get here, like all those guys here, hello, they also worked to get here, right? And you kind of appreciate it differently, right? When you do it. And I'm not sure whether when everybody will be able to come into VR, whether it will be the same feeling. Maybe I sound selfish and stuff, but I don't know. I'm just thinking out loud. This idea came to me right now. I have no idea.
Well,
Maybe it will feel completely different. Maybe it will be cool in its own way, but maybe not the way we will be saying in the. Oh, we have a fire.
That is a hot take.
Maybe.
That is a hot take.
Hot take. Yes, hot take. Maybe we'll be looking at that and saying, like, the good old days where the people were truly enthusiasts, and now every idiot is in VR, and oh my god, it's so crowded. Maybe one day we'll say this,
That's already happening in VR chat.
I was just gonna say, I mean, you're not wrong there, because you go to Quest compatible public instances and it is
right,
just
yeah.
absolute chaos. Thankfully, they've brought in things like age gating is now a thing, and that has cleaned up. In my opinion, that's cleaned up a lot of the cruft that's in there. You can still go to places and find 99% Questy users that are probably of questionable age and should not be in there. But then you can easily go to worlds where you don't have to deal with that. So, I get the point. If it's too cheap, then everyone.
But I even
comes
look
in,
beyond
but
that. Like, I
then-
know what you're talking about, but I even look beyond that. Beyond, like, it's like today is good old days. What we're living today is good old days. In the future, because we'll have much more headsets, much more accessible things, it will happen. Then it could be a very different vibe. maybe better, maybe worse, maybe different, but I don't know. It's just again, it just crossed my mind like,
Yeah.
what if? Because even today, like you have to buy Quest, you need VR. It's becoming mainstream, but it's still, you need to be of a certain brain wave to kind of get into VR, and it's kind of limited. But all
I
right,
was meaning from a different angle though. I do see the old, the OG people in VR chat that have been on the platform for like 10 years. When they talk about like what they were experienced back then, people had a lot more respect towards each other because they invested heavily into getting the right stuff, and then they spent probably hours configuring Steam VR to be able
oh, of
to
course,
get
yeah,
something
I
ready.
remember that, yeah.
And these days, people just log in and then go walk around and they talk to someone and then they shit talk and they're like, they didn't have that same
They
level of
didn't work for it.
stride. They didn't work for it.
The youth.
The youth. But even it's something that I think is you always have. But I noticed in VR chat as a more mature community is that these people they move out of the way. They go into their own spaces,
Mm-hmm.
and over time it will be harder to reach out to these people. I'm still surprised how easily I could get in contact with certain famous people in VR chat, and I think that over time will get less and less and less, and will be harder and harder to reach out to just accidentally stumble upon a famous person, for example. I think
Mm-hmm.
in the future that will be really difficult once more people get on the platform, on any
Yeah.
social VR platform.
Yeah, exactly. All right. Maybe we can take a few questions from the audience. What do we think? Can we? Shall we?
Sure.
Okay. Anyone has any comment, question? Don't be shy. You can come here to this microphone. Hey, Libelula, you can come here. Stand here next to the microphone, and we can hear you loudly.
Hi everyone. I was just
Hello.
wondering something. What is exactly the audience we want to, to bring here? Because I was like, I'm a VR chat player. Not since a lot of time actually. I've started like 2 years ago, a little bit less. But so you see, on VR chat there are all kind of people. You can meet absolutely everyone there, and that's great. But you also have a lot of parasites there, and it's annoying. That's the first one I wanted to talk about. And there's some second thing. The fact that all those great words you can find there, they are totally lost because there are also, sorry to speak this way, like I want to make myself as clear as possible,
No problem.
but there are also a lot of shit there.
Hey.
And I think like Somnium could be like for me, I see as the possibility to achieve something even like bigger, even greater than VR chat, to have quality here, to like, and I also love, I take the opportunity to say that, but I love the fact we have this calendar and that we can plan events. I mean, the world is full of things we can celebrate. We have Christmas, we have Easter, but we have so the Day of the Woman, the Day of, I don't know, like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
There are so many thematic we could work on all the time, and I think there's something in it. So I don't know if you understand those 3 points I mentioned.
Yeah, absolutely. I actually can try to answer this, and because we've been building Somnium Space since like 2016, 17, so for a long time already, actually. And I think Somnium attracts a little bit different type of people. Like we want to welcome everyone here, okay? Maybe not the small children who are shouting and swearing, but everyone else, they're welcome. But what I'm trying to say is like Somnium, because Somnium has been built with an economy in mind from the very beginning, it attracts a little bit different type of people, like more, more higher aged people, so average is somewhere above 30, not 18 or 17 or 15. it also attracts creators who think beyond just, hey, I built something, it's cool, because you can kind of also creators, they mature. Like you can come to any platform like VRChat, for example, you can build a world because you just wanted to build a world, and then people come and then some creators just say, it's fine, I built a world, some people came, I had fun, fantastic. But some creators will think, I built a world, they had fun, how can I bring them more fun and also make a living because I want to make more of that? How can I make my passion my full-time job? And that's where Somnium comes in, right? And I think that's kind of people we attract organically, but it's also with people who we are kind of contacting and talking to, because again, we believe that the world cannot just exist purely without any economical incentive, some economical incentive. Like if you think, like if you have everything for free, like if you use Gmail for free and then VRChat for free and stuff like this, you are the product. You are literally the product.
Yep.
And that you need to remember always. There's nothing for free in life. And what we try to do in Somnium Space, we try to very transparently show and say, yes, if you buy this land parcel and build on it, we provide you great tools, you can build on it, but you also support the platform so it can run for a long time and build things and, have, developers here and do all this stuff. So yeah, I'm transparent about this. I'm very open because we need to finance this thing. So yeah, you're right. And I tell you that Somnium does attract a little bit different crowd than the normal crowd.
Yeah. And I think it's great. I mean, that's
Yeah,
different.
it's
I think
just-
like people need I'm looking for uniqueness, when I'm going like in VR, I want to see things I can't see in real life. I want to see to have experience, like not just to stay in front of the mirror to look at myself. You know what I mean?
Yes, we all know.
So I'm also, and I think most
feel
of the
attacked.
people are looking for that. And
Yeah.
it's what we can offer.
Yeah, and we are, and there is, we work really hard, but we also listen very carefully to what creators who come, like yourself and others who come to our platform.
Thank you for that.
and they say to us, hey, I built this, I need this tool, and can we do listen, and we do, the whole team, part of the team is here as well, and we really are very, very passionate about what we do, and trust me, we'll be doing even more, and Somnium, like we've rebuilt the whole Somnium recently for the last 1.5 years, so we kind of restarted and rebooted it from the beginning of this year, and we're doing pretty good progress. And soon we'll introduce, the dollar payments. You'll be able to support creators with one click, things like that. I think that brings a lot of abilities to for other creators to come in. So yeah, thank you for coming, and I love your world. And where is my mask? I want to buy my mask.
I'm working on it. I will tell you more about that later.
Because the mask is amazing in the world.
Spoilers!
I will buy one. Sorry for bringing the personal business into it. Yeah, so first of all, I think, let me go to the microphone. Thank you for anyone else questions or comments? No, we did a good job. They all agree. Fantastic. Panelists, thank you very much. DNA, Walwander, Sheru, and Shoda under the stage. And of course, I don't know where the camera is, but thank you for viewers on the live streams. We are streaming, attention, to Twitch, YouTube, Twitter, and LinkedIn. Most of the time, when we have we rarely have panel discussions. Most of that we have discos and and then when we stream to LinkedIn, some people in the comments are like, what the heck am I looking at? Because they're not used to see this kind of things, what is this? I always get these comments like, hey, I have no idea what it is, but it was cool. From some CEO of some company and stuff. So yeah, thank you, even LinkedIn people, we love you. Thank you for coming to. That's us. Okay, LinkedIn people. Yeah. That's how they look. Wow, they're amazing, great people. Okay. But yeah, thank you for LinkedIn people to listening to our show. Thank you, Shota, for operating the cameras. I'm pretty sure we had 6 drones flying here while you didn't see that. But sure, come in, don't be afraid, come in. Yeah, hello. So we have 6 cameras, so if the stream sucked, you know who to blame.
Archer for hosting it.
Yes, so thank you for audience, and I think right now we could go and do a quick race in the cars around the city center to see who is the best driver. Because why not?
That'd be fun.
Oh, little Chris.
Shall we do it?
That'd be
Okay, let's
try
go. Grab the car and thank you again, and let's do some driving.
Yeah.
Okay. And did you survive?
Hello.
Stuck under the bed.
I went underneath so I could get everyone's audio proper.
Yeah, I was so worried about that. I thought that would be a problem.
I was like,
You already found the cars?
"Oh yeah, follow me." I'm in.
No, I know.
I'm gonna carry on streaming. I'm gonna be in first person mode now. So this is gonna be great. Oh no. Someone's already got the hover bike. Great. 1 second. What do we think about that then? Stream. A nice beefy discussion with some people who know what they're talking about. Right, let's go over here. What we got?
Whoa.
What we got? Oh, hover bike. Nice.
Where's the gas on these?
The right trigger.
Oh, there we go.
Hey, yo, shut up.
Hello.
Oh, wow.
Sorry. And I'll go to the toilet.
I need to turn.
Which way we have to go?
Yes, I do. Just turn all these stuff on so I can hear the cars and stuff, vehicles on. Come on. Yes. Woo! Follow me. Don't follow me. I crashed.
Oh no!
Follow me. We're still streaming, boys. Oh no. All right. And they're gonna come. They're already doing it. Let's just go. Just picture Top Gun theme tune. Losers. Did you crash again? Oh. Someone's overturned there. So this is what we like to do after every little event we do. Go for a little race around the city centre. Of course I hit a tree. There's someone behind me. No! 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 Okay, I'm gonna get a fun one. I'm gonna get a fun one. This one's got a booster on it. Whee! Oh no!
Oh, yeah. Got it.
Roadblock!
Yeah. What?
Much better.
Flip me. There we go.
Dizzy.
Whee! Race me. Whee! Do it again. No. Okay, I'll move out the way. Wait. Jadola. Come, there's a race. Go. Just go. Go. 3, 2, 1, go. Oh no! Woo-hoo-hoo-hoo! Oh no, I'm stuck. I'm stuck now, great. Come on, here we go. A bit hectic. But you two can come and play Somnium Space and do a little racing if you like, this sort of thing. Let's try and go around a corner without flipping. Really hard in this car. Brake, 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 no, brake, brake, no, 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 no. Oh! I saved it! No! Hit me! Thank you. Thank you. Why would you do this? Okay. Oh yes. Oh yes. Brake, 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 brake. Brake, brake, brake. No! You ruiner of fun. That's it. Look,
It was fun for me.
look, this CEO incites violence.
Me? Fake news. Bye bye.
Not even gonna help me. Wait, come say some closing words to stream. Come say some closing words to stream.
Yeah, I mean, I think it was a great discussion, and every great discussion is always, or should always end in a.
He's done that on purpose. He's done that on purpose. Well, there you go, boys and girls. He's all F4'd. With all great discussions. He's done that on purpose. Oh. Turn the blur on. And we do this live stream. Bonk. Well, no, cheers for sticking around, having a go, having a look. There's going to be more events like this soon, so keep an eye out. Maybe some game shows. I've got this idea for a cheeky game show. It might be quite cool to do. But take care. And see you soon again. Goodbye.